King Charles leads royals in powerful show of unity at Remembrance Sunday cenotaph amid family turmoil, wreaths. Silence and subtle messages of strength as Andrew's exile casts long shadow. In a ceremony steeped in solemn tradition yet charged with unspoken family drama, King Charles III, 76, stood resolute at the cenotaph on Whitehall on Sunday, November 9, 2025. Leading the nation, and his fractured family, in Britain's most sacred act of remembrance. As Big Ben struck 11 a.m., the monarch's lone figure triggered 2 minutes of silence that rippled across the Commonwealth. A poignant tableau of poppies, black leaves and racing silks that spoke volumes about duty, legacy and quiet resolve in the face of private pain. Flanked by Prince William, 43, and Prince Edward, 61, Duke of Edinburgh. The king walked the short, symbolic procession from the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office with measured steps, his medals glinting under a grey London sky. Behind them, on the famous balcony, Queen Camilla, 78, stood shoulder to shoulder with the Princess of Wales, 43. Who made an elegant return to public life in a black Philip Tracy hat and coat after her cancer treatment earlier this year. The image, 4 generations united in mourning, was broadcast to millions. Deliberately projecting stability at a moment when royal unity has rarely been more fragile. This was the family's first public gathering since Charles delivered the devastating blow to his younger brother, formally stripping the disgraced Duke of York of all remaining royal titles, patronages and his Windsor home, Forest Lodge, following fresh Epstein files released in the U.S. last month. Andrew, 65, was notably absent, his exile complete. Palace sources confirm the king personally signed the order on November 4, telling aides, "The crown cannot be tainted further." The move ends decades of protection and marks the final chapter in Andrew's fall from grace. Yet on Whitehall, symbolism trumped scandal. Charles laid the sovereign's wreath first 92 handcrafted poppies mounted on black leaves. Echoing his mother Queen Elizabeth II and grandfather King George VI, tied with a ribbon in his racing colors of scarlet, purple and gold. An equerry placed Camilla's wreath nearby, its white poppies and ribbon in her own racing silks inherited from her grandfather. A subtle nod to the Queen Mother's tradition. William's wreath carried the Prince of Wales' feathers and a Welsh red ribbon. The first time the new feathers have appeared at the cenotaph since his investiture in 1969 was echoed by his father. From the balcony, Kate's gaze never left her husband and father-in-law. Her black gloves clasped tightly, a quiet portrait of solidarity after a year that saw both she and the king battle cancer. Lip readers caught her whispering to Camilla, "They look so strong together," as the last post sounded. The night before, at the Royal Albert Hall Festival of Remembrance, 12-year-old Prince George had made his debut beside his mother. The youngest royal ever to attend the Poppy Cascade finale. His presence, at the exact age William first joined such events, signaled the future, even as the past weighed heavy. Earlier in the week, Charles had shown his personal touch. Visiting Chatfield Healthcare in Battersea, an NHS centre specialising in veterans' mental health. Chatting with a former paratrooper in a sling, the king quipped, "I've got endless plates and screws in my arm as well. All that's left when you drop dead is, made in Switzerland." The room erupted in laughter. A reminder of the monarch's enduring humor despite his own health battles and the family crisis. On Tuesday, November 11th, Charles will host 200 Pacific Theater World War II veterans at Windsor Castle, many in their late 90s and early 100s. Some flying in from Australia and New Zealand. The guest list includes the last surviving dam buster and a 101-year-old Japanese-British codebreaker from Bletchley Park. In what palace aides call His Majesty's final salute to the greatest generation. As wreaths faded on Whitehall and the bands marched away, one image lingered. A king, a future king, and a family choosing duty over discord, poppies over palace intrigue. In 2025, Remembrance was not just for the fallen, it was for the House of Windsor itself.